Alejandro Bratti and William Isley from Unlock Clarity. Today is the first program that we're going to be doing. Welcome to the Spanglish World Network on Single TV channel 250. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on the respective app store on iOS and Android. While you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free. Single TV is available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. So great to have you here, William. This is great that we are creating this new show.
Yes, yes, it is.
So today we are going to be talking something that we believe is really important to everyone, and the idea of this program is to be connecting with you, even listening to what you want to say about this type of topics. If you are interested in something else, you can also tell us. We are really looking to connect with you with what you are going through, the issues that you have, or anything that you are going through. So we call this program today Beliefs, how they are helping us or they can stop us to grow. So let's start a little bit with who you are, William, just to understand, and we can start to explain people what are you doing, how you are helping people now, and from there we are going to start to develop this topic about beliefs.
All right. I am from a very small town in southwest Missouri, USA. I grew up on a farm. We had farm animals, horses, pigs, a few turkeys, uh, chickens, rabbits, you name it. Um, Picked up lots of interesting beliefs from my family. And then after that, when I was 19, I went to the Air Force and stayed there for 8 years and got into a 12-step program called Overeaters Anonymous. And then got out of the Air Force, went to work for a bank in information technology. And let's see, after that, I, during that time, I married my wife. And after I left the bank, um, we built a house up here in Missouri. I was in Texas at the time, and built a house up here, moved up here. I helped my dad for mm, several years. And then he got a new aorta. Um, Literally at 85, they cut out his aorta and the arteries that go into his upper legs. So I was full time helping my dad for 6 years. And throughout that entire time, I have been on a spiritual growth path. Um, I've studied science extensively, uh, and I call myself a scientific spiritualist.
So I like that name a lot, scientific spiritualist, and I am going to go a little bit deeper there because that is not something that everybody understands. What is a scientific spiritualist? Why that? How that works? So in my case, understanding a little bit about that is scientific, and when you are talking about science it's that you start to find ways to repeat something that is not only esoterical or it's something that it's like okay, if you believe something is going to happen, maybe that happens or not. But when you are talking about science, it's like always happen the same way when you do something like gravity. Always there is going to be gravity because it's there and we are living in the earth that there is always gravity. So gravity works the same way everywhere here in on earth. But if you go to the moon, it's completely different. So what are your thinking on science and how that connects with the spiritualism and that part?
From my perspective, we have different versions of vibrational frequency. We have radio waves, we have light waves, we have X rays, ultraviolet rays, and in the light spectrum, all these things look different and they're the same. Radio is even part of the light spectrum. And so, from that perspective, for me, if you move beyond the physical, you get into light, then you move into X rays, then you move into spirit, which is just a higher frequency than where we are now. And so it's possible to use the scientific method to apply to one's spiritual growth path. And yet, for me, it's more a matter of high energy physics, quantum physics, the hard sciences, where we look at the vibrations of how the world works. And thoughts are part of vibrational frequency. Emotions are vibrational frequency.
And let's think, what is a belief?
Hmm. What is a belief? If we go from Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Part 1, um, he talks about PTBAR. Programming leads to thoughts, leads to beliefs, leads to actions, leads to results. And so beliefs is in the middle of the spectrum. So then you have, what is your upbringing? What are your programs, blueprints, if you wish to call them that? And then that leads to your thoughts. And so what we're thinking then leads to our beliefs. And so some folks like to get lost in the last four, and they forget that there's a vibrational spectrum all inside of our head that has to do with programs. And so we're kind of jumping into the middle of the story when we come straight to beliefs. And so what we're thinking directly influences some of our beliefs. I think, yeah, T-bar, yes. And so a belief is firmly rooted in our thoughts. And our thoughts flow around inside this meatware computer that has a lot of technology inside of it. We just don't think of it as technology. Neurons and synapses and those wonderful technical terms. And yet the brain, like I say, it's a wonderful wetware computer. And so what we're thinking wires a certain way, a certain set of neurons. And so then our thoughts, after a certain period of time, start controlling us. And then that forms beliefs, and we believe what we're thinking.
Let's start to think like, okay, with example, because I know that sometimes when we start to go deep in some topics, and this is normal, I believe, everywhere. In my case, for example, I had a professor when I was at the university that was saying like, okay, I don't like examples because they are going to limit what you are thinking. And even when that is true, sometimes it's much easier to understand what we are talking when we start to see examples of how this works. So in regards of beliefs, let's start with some examples of what are beliefs that can be helping us to grow, and which ones can be something that can be natural that you had to overcome in the past to really see like, okay, there was a belief that was stopping me and was not creating the person that I was supposed to be.
Well, let's start with this morning, for instance. My brain, things are going well, and my brain likes to make up scenarios about how bad things are and how much I shouldn't be here and how much people don't need to hear what I have to say. Let's start with some of those. And some of those are directly related to information I absorbed 20 years, 30 years, 40 years ago about me. And so some of these beliefs, um, they are old, they are outdated, they do not help me. And so I showed up. I'm here. I'm proud of me. And so I'm sure you've never had any of those kinds of thoughts or days where you just show up because that's what you said you'd do. I'm sure you never experienced that way.
I have that a lot. Don't say
So,
that.
and so that's where we come to the thoughts. And yet, you know, going down below that, there's a program running, and then there's a thought going on, and then there's the belief that I really shouldn't be here, which I left that part out of my story. But at 13, the creator of the universe had to step in and ask me not to commit suicide because he had something big for me to do. And so, yeah, there's lots of dynamics going on for everyone. And so the belief that I shouldn't be here, um, that's not helpful. So where do you want to go from here, Sir Alejandro?
No, it's to give examples why beliefs are so powerful and they can be really helping us to grow or not. For example, if I am creating a new company, a new business, I am doing some entrepreneurship, and I have to study new things because I am an expert in one area, but I am not an expert in other areas, and I need to learn about them. I can be saying like, "Oh, but I am too old to be going back to learn new stuff." So I'm going to I have to stop, and I'm not going to do this entrepreneurship because that is stopping me. Or what you were saying. In my case, I always believe that I wanted to create a company where I am not public, that I am not talking to any like here right now. I didn't want to do this. I was thinking like for me, it's enough to have one-on-one clients that I am connecting, and that's it. But the reality is that I love this. But my belief system a few even a year ago was like you are not supposed to be having this type of programs because nobody cares, nobody knows, nobody wants to listen what you have to say, nobody wants to hear this. And suddenly I have this program in this channel, this network, and I have another two programs in this network, and I have been more than 6 months talking every week in in all the social media. I didn't want to do it in one, and I am doing in all of them at the same time. So that's what I am trying to do is start to help you to understand that the beliefs that you have can be helping you because you can believe I am great and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I am great and I'm going to do it. And you are like that little kid that learns how to ride a bicycle without having a knowledge or anything how to do it, but he believes that he will learn it, and he has the capacity and he will do it. He doesn't have any programming to say no, you are not good enough, you are not going to learn ever, because you fall and there is a lot of failures in that process, so you have to stop. No, there is that that little kid is not thinking about that programming because he is not programmed.
Right?
I am programmed and I am thinking, no, who cares? And maybe even my English is not the best English and suddenly people in English are not going to be listening well because I have some accent in Latin. And so those are things that becomes your beliefs, your programming that stop you to do what you are supposed to do in this world. And suddenly you can become the person that you are supposed to be.
And so going back to that child who's learning how to ride the bicycle, I remember having a lot of fun with the process, even though it hurt. I remember experimenting. I remember trying trying different things to see how they worked. And then as I got older, um, then I had all these wonderful voices in the back of my head telling me that that was dumb or that was stupid or I shouldn't even try that one because it won't work from the beginning. And I have learned to not hear some of those voices. Um, it's a matter of who who am I going to listen to? This is all an experiment. So let's bring the science back. Science is about verifiable results. It's also about the scientific method. Let us experiment. Let us try things and see what happens. It's at its pure root. It's about having fun,
Mm, mm,
which is a lot of what we've. When we have the beliefs that are helpful, there's an aspect of fun in there. When we have the beliefs that aren't helpful, there's an aspect of not fun.
yeah. And let's start to think something that happens a lot also when we are talking about beliefs is that they help us to see the forest or they help us to see the tree. Depends what you are believing because you are so limited that you don't see anything else and the world the world is going to end tomorrow because all the issues that are happening around and suddenly you have to to kill yourself because that is not working anymore and nothing is working anymore, or you can start to see all the possibilities around and all the things that can happen. And even if it's a failure, it's not really a failure, it's an opportunity. So, how those beliefs, and that's what we want to do with this program is to start to do that, unlock the clarity, start to give you the opportunity to see more clearly what you have in front of you and what is stopping you to see what is happening inside of you and what is happening in your world. And sometimes you can be like nothing is working, you are going to die, everything is going to end tomorrow, and you are here, William, and everything is going well, and we are enjoying this program together. So we can be thinking in this morning, your belief system telling you, no, you are not good at this, and nobody cares about what you want to say. And suddenly, at the same time, you are here and realize like that was only a programming that is not true, that you
Right.
have to reprogram again and you have to change it for something that is going to be bigger than this. So this is great.
And in the recovery movement, we have a concept called acting as if. And it's not play acting, it's simply putting one foot in front of the other and doing what I know I need to do. So I act as if it's already happened. I act as if I'm already a success.
Mm.
And that helps a lot. Sometimes that gets me through some of my days. And that goes a long way to changing beliefs because the brain, after all, is physical. And so we have to do certain things in order to change its programming sometimes. It's it's that concept of you cannot steer a parked car.
Mm.
So if we're not moving, we can't adjust what we're thinking. If we're not going through life and we're not living.
So, for everyone, this program, what we are going to be doing is giving you some tips. What we are going to be doing is talking about different topics. It's going to be at this time every Monday. Another thing that we want to tell you, one thing is okay, that limiting belief, that is a lot of things that happens, limiting beliefs that can that what it's doing is it's a belief at the end, but it's stopping you to see the whole forest. So if you are not seeing everything, and you feel that there is a lot of scarcity and there is a lot of things that are not helping you, it's maybe it's a belief that is stopping you to see what it's really in front of you, and you have to start to change that to see something better. Another thing that I will tell you is start to ask yourself if that belief is helping you or is stopping you. If it's helping you, use it. If it's not helping you, start to look for ways to change it or ways that are going to help you. Be ready to challenge you. That's something that is something very important that we have been talking with William a lot. That's something that we do a lot when we meet together, and that's why we created this program. Is how we challenge to get out of your comfort zone. When you are in your comfort zone, everything is fine, it's perfect, but we don't see how to grow. Maybe there is a limiting belief there. uh, how you can be creative and think outside the box and test new beliefs. If I am not saying that we have the answer for you specifically how to grow and how to change your beliefs, but you can test them. And if they start to work for you, use it. If it's not working, stop and and don't continue using that. So for next week, we are going to be talking something very specific that is what we are going to be sharing in this program is perspective. Why perspective? Because everything changes depending on the perspective that you have. So, William, what like a last point or last comment that you want to say about this, just to finish the program today? Do you have anything?
If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you are correct.
And that's key for everyone. So thank you for listening to us. These are going to be little nuggets. William, it was great to be here with you today, and thank you all that was listening to us. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out the spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. The Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it. Thank you all. Bye bye.